Ed Diaz, and I am so happy to welcome you here to Roland Presents Synth Talk. And today we have a very special show. Let me start off by introducing some of my partners in synthesis over here at Roland. Start off with Mr. Scott Berry over in California. So we have a whole international crew today. So Scott Berry. And let's see, what's Scott coming in? Also, we're going to have we have Mr. David Ahlund coming to us from London, and then also we have from the way down under in the dark continent, Mr. Mark Watson. Yay!
Mac, yay! Awesome. This is
Hello,
so good to
gents.
be around all you guys, man. This is our family. This is our Roland family for the synth team for sure. This
Yes,
is awesome.
it's pretty cool. Now, just so you guys know, this has been a little bit not a struggle, but definitely an adventure to organize because I'm in the central time zone in the U.S. Scott is in the Pacific time zone. Mark is in Australia, whatever your time zone down there. It's
In the
like
future,
it's in the
In the
future.
future.
So for me, it's 4 o'clock. For Scott, it's 2 o'clock p.m. For Mark, it's in the future at
7
7.
a.m. Saturday morning.
And then for Mr. David Allen in London, it is 10 o'clock p.m. So
Correct.
anyway, let me remove this mask because I think you guys are probably safe. So, all right, we got my mask removed. We're going to have some fun. All right, so let's start off the show. First of all, to all of everybody watching, thank you so much and welcome. Gentlemen, on the screen with me, I don't know what's been going on in your parts of the world, but apparently Roland did something last night, and I don't know what could it be. What could it be? Well, you guys are going to have to wait because first off, I want to start off just by saying welcome to everybody. Let's give a shout out to everybody that's watching. I see Mr. Bob Horn, which is from Facebook, Ron, Joshua Juarez, John Iverson, Wiley Paul, Erica. We just love doing the roll call of everybody that's watching. I see Eric. I see the Roland, boss team in Brazil. Big hugs to them. I see Michael Kohler. I see India Ferguson. I see a lot of Steve Barnes, Dan Villanueva. I just love saying Villanueva. And then we have Giovanni, we have Patrick, we have Nathan, we have Angela, we have Brett, we have Robin Spears from Calgary on YouTube. We have some of the more friends from, it looks like Brazil. Charles, looks good evening. More of my Brazilian friends. Roy, look at this. Everybody, this is great. So, hey, before we get started, all of you guys and gals that are signing in, let us know what country you are coming in from. I love that. David Perry, Robert Clark. We love finding out that we have all of our Roland friends and family throughout the world. And so as you comment and say hi, which we love and we all appreciate, let us know where you're watching from. That's totally awesome. I see Neil Goins just signed in too, so that's great. All right, so Christopher Howland from L.A. Look, Arturo, man, a lot of people see. So, all right, cool. So let's get started. So if you guys aren't aware, and I think many of you are, Roland just released last night at midnight Pacific time here in the U.S., a new update for the FANTOM. This is FANTOM 2.0, and so it's available now. Before we get started, I want to show everybody where to go to find it. So you can go to your respective Roland over here, and so get Gabe to kind of throw me over here, our producer of the show. So you can go to your Roland, and of course, it's going to find you globally, and you can go ahead and look there. From here, you can go into the product section. You can go into synthesizers. Once you go into synthesizers, it will take you to the synthesizer page of your country. You can just choose on FANTOM. Once you're on FANTOM, just go ahead and scroll all the way down. This is pretty cool. All the way down, and you're going to go ahead and click on downloads. Once you click on downloads, and I'll just pop it open so you can see it. You click on downloads, a little bit bigger. You can see version 2.0, and we click on that, and there it is. It's going to have a lot of good stuff in there, and you're going to see everything that has been additional functions and functionality improvements. That's also great. Another thing you should also download is from the next part down, which is the support. We can go ahead and check out the supplementary manual 2.0 right here. And from here, this is probably what we're going to be using a lot today. We're going to be going through the supplementary manual and discussing a lot of these key features in here with everyone. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to my motley crew of synth people here. All right. So first off, welcome once again to all my synth bros that are on here with me. I just love it. Thank you for David for staying up. Thank you to Mark for waking up early. That's all. No thanks to Scott Berry. Anyway, so I know. So if you're unsure, you can go ahead and Mr. Mark Watson has produced a very fine video. Hey, Mark, can you go ahead and tell us where to find the video if you know where that is or what it's, just go through it a little bit, please.
Sure. I've shared it a little bit last night, and I'm trying to remember where I found it, but I did find it on YouTube on the Roland channel. I'm just looking it up now, so I can share the link here. Might be the best way. Stand by.
So that's cool. So while Mark's doing that, if you haven't, make sure, and there's a lot of great content already out for the FANTOM 2.0. Of course, Mark, we love his. And Scott, do you remember some other ones that have come out? Because I always forget different things.
For FANTOM 2.0 video?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Mark's is great. That one was on there. But also Loopop just put one up, which David could probably talk about because he's really tight with Zeev.
Yeah, Loopop is a very good friend of us, and he's done several reviews of our products, and now he did like a very full, in-depth review of the FANTOM 2.0. So he basically knows everything, and what he doesn't know, he checks out. So if you want fine details, definitely check out that video.
Yeah, he's really thorough with everything that he does and goes through. So I think he does a really good, fair job. Again, he's not connected directly, so that's always good for the consumer. But definitely check out his stuff for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot of good videos already on there, and Mark's getting his up. But that's
I just saw a cool one this morning too, Ed. Sorry to interrupt. Is my microphone okay, by the way?
A little loud.
Little loud, and Scott could come up a tiny bit too.
Okay, a little loud. Sorry.
Little loud. Just Mark.
Typical Australian, right?
Oh, yeah, typical Australian.
Yeah, the Gatterbus one I saw this morning.
Yep.
Yeah,
and shout out to Gatterbus.
He's on the board right now.
On here. Yeah. Shout out also to our friend Monty Newble on here. I see some other great people: John Iverson, Robert Fernandez. So that's cool. So a bunch of other people. So great. And as you know, we'll try and get everybody on here and get your questions. Okay, so I think let's see, we got David. Okay, so let's go ahead and have some fun. I think you know what, gents, I think we probably need to jump right into this, and then so go ahead and ask your questions in the chat. We're going to try and get to them, and then we're going to try and go through different parts of this, and then myself, David, Mark, or Scott will kind of take on, and we'll just kind of have some fun with it this way. Okay, yeah. So the first thing we'll just kind of talk about is the one that I think everybody wants to talk about is, I lost my cursor. There's my cursor. We want to talk about multi-sampling. We got sampling into there. So this is something that's pretty awesome. A lot of multi-sampling functions in here. And let's see who wants to show their screen. Mark, do you want to share yours? Because first off, we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done in here. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. Is you have not only user samples, you also have pad samples. Go back. You have pad samples in here. You have user samples. You can go to the keyboard, and you can go into the multi-sample in there. So, I think we lose Mark for a minute. Oh, okay. So anyway, that's a great thing in here. So if we wanted to right away, we could go ahead and look. If I were to hit my FANTOM, for example, and I go ahead and I'll go into the sampling screen right here, you're going to see this screen right here. And this is one I want to make sure everybody knows about. And Scott and David, please chime in. So first off, I want to make sure everyone knows that what's the difference in some of these. Okay. So we're going to have, of course, we have sampling. So this is when you want to create a sample. Okay, so now in the FANTOM, when you go to create a sample, you have 3 different spots you can go ahead and put it. So we can sample it to the pads, which I think a lot of you are already familiar with. We can also sample it to the keyboard. So this is cool. And so we can go ahead and make one shots, or we can go ahead and start to do some different multi-samples or create multi-samples from scratch, or we could go ahead and just sample this to storage. I guess this one, I probably, David or Scott, this is probably just to kind of get you going, and you can go ahead and save all your stuff in the background and then call it up when you need it. That's probably what that's for right there. Also, if you already have samples, and I think a lot of you out there will already have samples, you can go ahead and import your samples, and you'll import them from the thumb drive that you can plug into the back of your Phantom. You can import them to the pads, to the keyboards, and to multi-samples. So this is one thing that we definitely want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that everybody understands, because I know I ask a lot of questions myself, and I just want to make sure that everybody's in agreement, because I can see people getting in there and having questions with that. So what do you guys think? Any questions so far? Anything you guys want to go ahead, David or Scott, and throw in there just in case I forgot something?
Well, it's pretty much, I mean, you got it covered. You have the 3 different ways that you can do it. The main 2 are going to be to the pads or to the keyboard. You can sample it into the keyboard, and then it will just kind of map itself across, which could be fine for what you're doing, but it may have artifacts. So you may want to do several, or start to do multi-samples, or take it into different velocity levels. It all really depends on how you're doing stuff. Cool. Looks like Mark's possibly back.
Okay.
And then the pads. So a lot of things, sometimes you just want to trigger something, whether if it's, talking part or some effects or an intro, and you've got a couple different ways now. And that's something I think I want to show you guys too, that's been added to the new feature that people may not realize. But I think Mark is our intern expert right now with everything.
And he's getting all set up. And Mark, when you're ready to go, we'll kind of show you now. Let's go ahead and answer a couple of questions while Mark is in here. Let's see here. I see one that's already come up. Jonathan already said, "Hey, Microscope is great, and you guys and team did amazing work." Yeah, it's shout out to everybody worldwide at Roland that's working during this pandemic to try and get you a bunch of stuff coming out for you. Shout out Nathan Mann says, "What formats and resolutions of samples can you import?" This is actually a really good question, and I haven't covered this myself yet, because just like you guys, we're still learning. We're still learning this one.
48 kilohertz seems to be the golden one for samples. 44.1 will work, but it seems to be 48 is the golden ticket.
Yeah, so there we go. We're going to go ahead and check on that even more for you guys the more we get into it. Okay, great. Jonathan Charles says, "Is it 2 minutes 44 seconds for samples? If so, that's better than most gear I got, so I'm happy." I'm not sure what he means by that. 2 minutes. I guess he's meaning, I guess maybe Charles is meaning at a time. You can have a sample up to 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Do
you know, Mark?
I'm back. Sorry, gents.
Okay,
good.
1 second.
Not a problem. So he maybe he's saying per sample, which that's actually a very long sample. That's almost 3 minutes. So that's
he's actually correct.
okay. Cool. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi. Well, sorry about that. We're a little bit antiquated down here, and my camera didn't have the coffee. I've bumped the power lead and it turned itself off, so I apologize.
It's all good.
So what did we need to know? I was just running around.
That's all good, Mark. So Jonathan Charles was asking, is it 2 minutes and 44 seconds for samples? If so, that's better than most gear I have today. So I guess this question, per sample is the max time per sample, 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
I believe so. I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So that's quite a bit.
And as you say, 48 kilohertz, that's correct too.
Yeah.
And the incredible thing is the totals. I mean, if I start talking, I'm so excited about this product and what 2.0 is, I won't stop. It's really, really cool. The fact that we've got the multi-samples, we've got 128 multi-sample tones that we can have, and each one of them can have 88 samples each. That's just so cool. And the fact that we can have them as partials / oscillators and 4 of them running through Zencore does my head in. I can't wait for the future that I can just spend some more time programming some really cool sounds, because it really opens up what already was an amazing synth to being just next level now. And then, of course, the sample to keyboard, there's 8,000 of those. So there's just a plethora of sound palette that you can have with the Phantom. You guys still there? I'm just looking at myself now.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're gorgeous, by the way. You're gorgeous.
I want to see you. I don't want to just see myself.
Oh, I feel that way about you as well. So
yeah.
And so
anyway,
does your wife.
Anyway, let's keep it going. So anyway, here's another good question. Tim says, is there any documentation on how imported samples should be named for auto importing into the Phantom, matching velocity and keys automatically? I would guess probably yes, Mark. If you wanted to go ahead and have them come in to us when you auto import, maybe name them by the scale, like F1, F sharp 1, F sharp, G, F sharp. You know what I mean? Just kind of have it go by title. I think. What do you think, Mark?
There is documentation. I think I haven't gone right through the manual properly. The new manual that's just come out, the version 2 supplementary manual. Mm-hmm. I need to double check the details in there in regards to how it does that, but I know Phantom does do that. So I just got to check whether the latest manual that's come out does have those details in there.
This is just a refresher for you guys out there. This is how fresh this is.
Yeah,
we've been working on it. It's been a whole team thing. We've gone through a couple different things, but this is still really, really fresh for us. So we're learning with you, and I think stuff like that's just really cool. So we're all going to learn together.
And don't worry, we already are working on this. We've already had some videos come out just to kind of talk about this, but we're going to have other videos come out. If you go to YouTube, look up Roland Product Support, and you can always go and just hit playlist, just as a quick refresher for everybody. Hit playlist, and you can go inside here and choose Phantom, and then you'll be able to go in and kind of look through the different Phantom videos. So we are currently, I know I'll be doing new videos starting on Monday, going through each part of this. I know Scott and I and some of the gents here, we're already talking about this should be a video, this should be a video, this should be a video. So you're going to see a lot of content coming. So that's cool. Here's a great question. Hey, this one's for... Let's get David Ahlund in the mix. Keep him awake. Let's see here. We got, will the Phantom read my S50 floppy disk? Oh, man.
Well, it doesn't have a disk drive, so.
That's right.
So I know he's just being silly, but that's always a fun one. Because we do have people that have old samples. And so my answer would be, if you can figure out a way to get that data off of that old CD-ROM, off of that floppy into your computer and onto a thumb drive, there's a chance Phantom could read it. Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. Here's another quick fire questions, and I love the questions. It says, Steven says, a couple of quick fire questions. How many custom user singletones can the Phantom hold? Anybody want to get that one first?
Oh, it's over 2,500.
Yeah.
But I don't know where. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I mean, it's definitely up there. And
it's over 2,000. It's over 2,000, everybody. So that's something that's great in there. So you got a lot of space to do that. And number 2, it says, does the EXZ for all my friends over there, is orchestral expansion have the exact same sounds as the SRX06 complete orchestra? What do you guys think?
They are the same, but they definitely have been, I would say, remastered, or because of the converters inside Phantom, they just sound absolutely divine, much the next level. Plus, also with a lot of the SRX stuff that's now EXZ, because I own the old XV5080, and I've actually got all the old SRX boards up there in my library behind me, and the loops and things like that all synchronized to tempo with Phantom as well.
Yeah. So like Mark is saying, a lot of those old SRX are now into the EXZ, and yeah, they have been remastered. And then also a Phantom now compared to Roland products back then, the A to D, D to A converters have actually been improved, obviously. So that you're going to get even a better sound. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get some more people. Some more people. I see Julian Styles. I see some of our more friends in here. Oh, here's another good one. Oh, here's it. Martin says, "Can we update the TR-8S with new samples?" Anyone want to answer that one?
That would be a David Ahlund.
David
That
Ahlund.
would be a David Ahlund.
So do you mean if there would be an update with new preset samples? Is that the question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it almost looks like he's asking if he can put his own in there, which he can, because he's saying, "Can we update?" But yeah, that would be my guess. I mean, there was a big update for that.
Yeah, there was a big update that just
Yeah,
happened.
there was a 2.0 update, which there wasn't new samples in it. There was a new sound engine. So there was the FM synthesis update, which is different from samples, but the samples are still the same. But there was new contents released as well. But yeah, the actual kind of hardwired preset contents is still the same. But obviously, you can import whatever you want to it.
Absolutely. So the quick answer is yes, you can put new samples in the TR-8S. That's something that's great. But then, as David just said, we just had an update on the TR-8S maybe a month ago, if less. It just right around there. It just happened. Just happened.
Yeah, Daniel just replied to that too.
Yeah,
he
said
said
the
down
same
there,
thing,
Daniel Lee.
Yeah, cool. Shout out to Daniel Lee in LA.
Hi, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Oh, shout out to Jamaica in the house. What's up? Nick Garcia in the house. So that's cool. Julian just asked, he says, does the FANTOM still have the sample pads to create loops in sample? And I think the FANTOM does have, hold on. Let me check. Yes, the FANTOM still has sample pads. So can you guys confirm? Yes. Okay. So it's all good. Sorry, I was just being smart, Alec. All right, cool. So let's see. I'm just trying to go through a lot of questions just popping up. That's
There's an
cool.
interesting question here. Someone asking for AI arpeggio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's which is obviously currently only on the Jupiter X series, but
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't be physically impossible, right, guys?
No, absolutely not. To just put an AI art kind of arpeggio kind of thing right there. But yeah, that's cool. You know, one thing I definitely want to say about the FANTOM is it does so much. There's a lot of stuff that we get into, and I know when I'm in a private chat with these gentlemen and we're talking about keyboards and stuff, there's just one thing about the FANTOM that I truly love is all the versatility that I can do. But then also with these four guys here, everyone runs it differently, and then everyone else has different musical styles, and it's really amazing to see what each individual can compose and perform doing this, you know. So it's really cool. So that's the great thing. I tell you what, I'm going to go away from the questions here, and I'm going to go back, stick back on topic, because then we could just chatter. All right, so let me go back over here, and so so Mark, can you show us any samples, stuff that you've done, any examples? Because right here, everybody, if you're not sure where this document is, this is if you go to the Roland website, and I'll show you once again, that is just go to the FANTOM, just go to shoot a FANTOM area, and if you just go all the way to the bottom, choose FANTOM 6, 7, or 8, go scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can go ahead, there we go, and you can go to support. Once you're in support, you just click on the supplementary manual, click on that link, and you can go ahead and get this supplementary link, which will tell you everything that's been updated in the FANTOM, and then also how to go through it. And actually, this I've already been going through this, and this is what I am using to determine what videos we're going to make on the 2.0. So I'm going to turn it over to Mark Watson, if that's okay, and he can maybe give us a quick taste of some of the sampling stuff he's done. Hopefully he's putting him on the spot, but he's pretty cool. Let's see what he does.
Okay, so can you hear me okay still? I'm still a little bit uncertain. Okay, cool. So let me go to my bank. D. Okay.
Now pick a scene.
Yeah, no, I've got my samples. 1 second.
Yeah, we'll get him. I'll go ahead and say some shout outs, some people.
Yeah, give me 1 second, please, Ed.
Okay, it's all good. Let's give some more shout outs to more. So I'll say Andre Luis. He says, hey guys, yes, we have multi samples. Yes. Good to see you all. Good to hear from you. I see here we got Martin. I see James. When is the MV 900 coming out? I don't even know. I guess he's talking about from the old days of MV 8000, MV 8800. So
we got Max Fattori in the house as well.
Yeah,
Max from Italy.
Max.
Yes. Beautiful person. Another one of our brothers, Daniel Lee. He's giving some sort there. Robin Spears, he says, can you sample the Sierra 8S and put it in your Phantom? I guess the short answer would be yes. Yes. Because hey, Scott, how or David, how would we go about sampling a TR-8S and into the Phantom?
I mean, if you want to do that, you could simply just do real-time sample recording like you do with any audio that you're putting into the Phantom.
Yeah.
So, of course, yeah.
Very, very quick and easy. Absolutely, Robin. You could totally do that. Shout out to Catherine Wing from LA. That's awesome. Love Catherine. Let me see. Let's see here. Steven says, thank you for answering my question. I missed the $300 off deal going on. Oh, well, there'll be similar sales for Black Friday. Also, any plans for special edition Phantom or a new colored one, maybe a white one? Stefan, just keep looking. If you're looking for special deals, you can go ahead and support your local musical dealers and see what kind of deals they can do for you. As far as from Roland, just always check our promos page on the Roland website, wherever you are globally, and you'll see things come up from time to time. But definitely reach out to your local music dealer, and I'm sure they could work something out for you. Absolutely. Shout out to me. That's right. Okay. Anyway, that's that. I'll owe you $5, whoever that was. Okay. Here's a good one. Up to what level can the Phantom be used as a looper station? This is interesting. Well, if anybody wants to jump in, but usually when I'm doing a sequence, I'll go ahead and have that sequence kind of loop, and I'll just kind of add tracks accordingly and stuff. I'll show you that. Go ahead, Scott.
Sorry. What I was going to say is, I mean, because of the way that the sequencer is structured, which is very clip-based, pattern-based, as far as a looper goes, as long as you can just keep adding to it or doing what you want, it's going to be insane with what you can do. You've got 16 different tracks. You have 8 levels, so 8 deep of what you can do, and you can bounce around. And now there's a new feature that they added, was the group feature on the pads. I don't know if David, have you had any time with the group feature in the pads yet?
Yeah, well, basically the group feature is just for, how you can save different groups, essentially, kind of, or or scenes as they're called in certain other contexts, which is just a group of clips. This is now the new pad function is basically how you can control those group switches by using the pads. So you can essentially jump from one section of the song to another by just using the pads.
Yep. And so I already wrote this down. So I think we'll do a video showing how to do this for you guys. So make sure you go to YouTube and look up Roland Product Support, and we'll do a video on that to kind of show you. I think Mr. Mark Watson is ready to kind of go over some sampling stuff. So Mark Watson, to you, sir, take it away. Don't. Awkward. The awkward silence of a show.
Well, you remember he's in the future, so he's already been done.
So it takes a minute to get to him.
Yeah. He did this yesterday.
He did do this yesterday. Let's see. Let's see. I'll get another question. Once again, shout out to Max. Love you, Max. Let's see. Carice says, can you guys discuss polyphony? How many sounds can be layered at once without one sound cutting off? I'm going to let one of you guys take it. Who wants to take this one?
It depends. I mean, it depends, because it depends on the engine it's coming from. If it's Zencore, and then it's like, is it VA, virtual analog? Is it PCM? Is it supernatural? All these things can change the factors with the amount of polyphony. Also, what? Go ahead, speak.
Okay. I was just going to say, and also, obviously, if you're using, say, PCM, that it will be affected by how many partials do you use, and do you use stereo samples or not, because one patch can essentially be up to 8 samples in one
note.
patch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, in one note, and that's where I was going. Yeah, so it depends on, like, if you do the 4 partials. Let's just say you're using 1, then each time you hit a note, it's 4 voices that are being triggered. And then you start layering that stuff up. So it depends, and it depends on how you play. If you do big chords or just playing this, so it's hard to say. It can be up to 256, but it can also come down depending on the engine.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Do we still have Mark over here? He's AWOL. So
There
I
he is.
think.
There he
Oh,
is.
there he is. So Mark, are you ready to show us? Do a little bit of
I-
playing.
I think I need another 5 minutes. I'm going
Okay.
to be straight up and apologize that I did another update and I didn't do my backup. So I'm loading my backup with my samples right now. So I just need
Okay.
All
another
good.
couple of minutes, guys. Sorry, my bad.
No, this is all good, because we can this is a good lesson, because you always want to make a backup, especially once you get out there playing live. Always make a backup of your Phantom, because sometimes you might have an issue with power, or if you're going to renting a Phantom for a live gig, it's always good to have your kind of backups. I tell you what, Scott, can you show, or David, would you play a little bit of something, kind of show us kind of how you kind of play your Phantom a little bit? Is that too
Yeah, sure. Something I really like about the Phantom is the big possibilities for expression. So all the different controls you have and all the different parameters you can be in control of. So I don't know, can you hear this?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So I've used the sample feature here, of course. So here is this is a voice, just a voice sample, a single voice sample I have. And then I have actually layered it with the same one, but I've made that one more percussive and also added some velocity filter and things like that. So it essentially becomes a completely different sound. So if you layer these, and then the cool thing is, obviously, when you combine, you get a very full sound, I think, when you combine the sample technology with the actual virtual analog engine inside. So if you, for instance, I have a pad here as well in the same patch. And now if you combine all 3 of these, so this way you can get really, really nice sounds, I think, if you combine the different sound engines. And also, like I said, what I really like is having different types of expression and different control. So what I've done here, for instance, is in this pad, if we just listen to the pad alone, I've put on the aftertouch, I have a filter. So if I just push that down, actually, I'm just going to switch the camera there.
Yay!
So yeah, if I just push it a bit harder, then I get that filter jumping up and down. But also I can control, I'll do kind of the opposite essentially with the voice sound. So if I take the voice sound here, then that filters down when I press the aftertouch. So
Hey, David, real quick, when I just want to let everybody know, because you're pushing down and triggering the aftertouch, but you're having it open and close a filter. Can you you don't have to explain deeply, but how do you tell the Phantom to do that?
Yeah, so that will be in the patch settings or in the tone editor where you have matrix control. So
There it is.
That's the magic key. So in the matrix control menu, you have you can control multiple parameters with one other parameter. So you can send some, like, let's say you can send the pitch bend to the filter, or you can send aftertouch to the pitch, or basically any way you want. And you can do this with multiple things. So I can say I want the aftertouch to control, let's say, the pitch of oscillator 1 and the filter of oscillator 2 in varying degrees as well. So basically, you can have all kinds of stuff happening to a sound by just using a controller. So that's what I think is really cool. So what I've done, if I go back to this sound now, so like I said, I have a voice filtering down, but the pad filtering up. So when you combine these, it's like the pads, the sounds take over each other when you press down the aftertouch. Like that. So I find that very, very expressive. But also, another thing I really like is that you can actually control effects as well. So this is not in the Matrix controller, but it's a separate section where you can control the effects with different controllers. So I've actually added the famous, you guys know it, I don't know how many know it, but we have the Roland DJ FX looper effect, which is really popular, especially on the SP404 sampler.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting looping kind of effect, which basically takes a small portion of the sound and just loops it over and over, and then you can change the size of the loop and the pitch of the loop as well. So sometimes you get a bit of a turntable effect. So what I like to do is sometimes I take that effect and actually assign it to, say, the mod and the pitch wheel, so we can get this kind of looping, kind of chopped up effect. So if I play the chord again, and then I activate the looper, then you get this kind of thing. So it's looping there, but then I can also start changing the size of the loop as well. And the speed as well. So you get this kind of turntable-y chopped up effect, which I think is really cool.
And that's all technically within the same scene, right? You're just triggering that with Matrix controller.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, it's not in the Matrix controller, but it is in the tone editor. So it's right below the Matrix control, where you have MFX settings, and you can set different controllers to control the MFX.
David, we need you to change your name to David Matrix Ahlund.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, David is the king as far as, in my opinion, with the whole Matrix control. David makes the keyboards do stuff. You're like, well, how did he do that? What did he do? How did he do that? So that's definitely always fun to watch David perform in there. Go ahead. I'm sorry, David.
No, I just wanted to show a quick example. So I made actually a patch bank for the FANTOM as well, which you can download on the Roland Cloud, and it's called the Lo-Fi Beats. And in that one, we have all kinds of lo-fi sounds and stuff. And I like to use that effect a lot. So for instance, it didn't come out perfectly on a pad, but if I do it here, which on this sound is from the Lo-Fi Beats bank. So if I play just a little bit of Rhodes. This is a nice crunchy Rhodes with a little bit of turntable noise and stuff like that. And in this one, you can really have some use for the DJ effects looper if you do stuff like this. So
I love it.
That's very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, I just love it. It's like I remember watching David on a lot of different shows. Like, what did he just do? What was that? What was?
Oh, and he'll tell you, and it's simple. He'll be like, "Oh, dude, I just did this, and this is nothing," and you're like, "Okay."
Yeah, so I think that's one of the biggest powers with the FANTOM is the Matrix control and just the general control you have over the sound and expression and things like that. So if you combine that with the new multi-sample feature, or just a sample import feature, then you can get some really, really cool stuff happening.
Absolutely. Hey, Mark Watson, are you ready, sir? Oh, there we go. Darn it. Just shout out when you're ready, Mark. So let's. Is that you? You ready?
That was no mic.
No mic. Okay. Well, here's someone that says, beginning synth player here. How did you guys all learn to master the instrument? Well, first off, thank you, but I don't think, with respect to everybody, none of us have mastered the instrument. So
We're always learning. I mean, and the thing is, like, the four of us will get together on, Facebook or Messenger or whatever, and we'll all start talking about different things, and everybody has a different take on something or how to do something, and we all learn and grow together. on top of it. So as far as mastering it, just spend time with it.
Yeah.
Just get to know it. But as you guys can see, the Phantom just keeps growing. This was a big one, but there's a lot more to come for it.
Yeah.
So we're going to constantly be learning and trying to do different things. And the more that we can share, all of us, and I'm talking about everybody out there, the more that we can share together, it helps not only all of us grow, but it also helps other people try and go out of the box and start to experiment more with other things. And the new things are discovered. It's just awesome.
Absolutely. And I know David told a story on a previous Synth Talk that he would stay up on listening to records and trying to figure out how they make sounds and all that stuff, David. I think he told the story of his father getting him a groove box, and it forever ruined his life.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I got a groove box when I think I turned like 17 or something. Yeah, and that was I couldn't do anything else. I was just stuck behind that thing.
Yeah,
it was amazing, great, amazing times.
That's awesome. And I know my father got a Roland JX3P with the programmer, and that was the first synth, and I was not allowed to touch it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But because dads go to work, and then it's like, all right, get to it. Anyway, okay, let's see. Neil Goen, shout out to Neil. He has a great Facebook Phantom page. It's a lot of support, and also to shout out to our friend in Australia, Francis, that also has another Facebook group for Phantom. But anyway, Neil says, I'm sorry, go ahead, Scott.
No, I was going to say Neil today put down a quick little video of how he did a quick multi-sample on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and if you're part of the Phantom pages, you'll find Neil's video on it, which I just thought was great. And it was just how he took it together with like 3 different samples and spread it across the keyboard. It was a really cool video.
And I think that's what Neil's commenting here. One multi-sample can equal one partial, which can have another 3 added, along with V piano, supernatural strings, plus any other samples. That's huge. And we're hoping to get Mark Watson to show you, but that's kind of fun. That's cool. Let's see. Pedro says, interesting sound. Oh, it's Mark. Mark, you ready, Mark?
Have you got me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Go
And
for it.
if I do this, no,
Hear you.
you can't hear my keyboard, right?
Yeah. No, we can hear it.
Yep. Sounds good.
Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Sounds like a classical violin, right?
No.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's really weird. 1 second.
Okay. So why would that? I think this is in regards to David. I've never heard that before. Yeah, David does some incredible sounds. I think this is a compliment. That's nuts. That's awesome. There's another noob, as he says. Ivory, as a best way to learn keyboards, the synthesis is just read the manual, play the keyboard, watch all the videos, ask questions, and just keep learning.
And turn and push every button, because sometimes that's the best way to learn, is just to do something and go, oh, what did that do? Nothing. What did this do? Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. I know when I'm talking to these gents, I just throw it out there like, what does this mean? And so if this means this, does this mean that? So I'm not afraid to do that. Also, Mr. Daniel Lee, he just shared an article on the guide to subtractive synthesis. So this is great. Thank you for sharing, Daniel, on how to kind of learn synthesis, subtractive synthesis. It is probably, in my opinion, probably the most common type of synthesis. Yeah. So that's a great way. And once you learn subtractive synthesis, you'll be able to pretty much run any keyboard. Like, for example, if you take a look at the top of the Phantom here, and you guys can chime in, pretty much all synthesizers are going to share an oscillator. So that's where you choose your waveform. This is what makes the sound or the noise. A filter is where we can shape the sound with different filters, and you can learn about those. And then we have the amp envelopes, the envelopes here, which we can do things like adjust how the different pitch, the filter, and the amplifier react with the ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, and release. And so all of that. And then at some point, you will have a low frequency oscillator in there, and then of course effects. So pretty much all synthesizers, once you understand subtractive synthesis, you can look for this, and this makes it a lot cool. And how cool is that with the Phantom? Yeah. You can it's a workstation, but it can very easily react as a synthesizer. And if you wanted to go deeper in a Phantom, you can just press a parameter button, and you can actually jump deeper into the Phantom and go even further. So Awesome. So let's go ahead and put me back with everybody.
And that's quite unique, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah.
Like for a workstation to have so much kind of sound design control directly on the panel. 'Cause
On the panel, yeah, exactly. That's a great point, David. That's a great point. I love that it's right there and you can just get to it. And even if you just treated it as, simple little shortcuts, when you go through, you just go ahead and hit the parameter button, and boom, you're in these other areas just by hitting that on the screen instead of going menu and then diving down and everything else. Is that you can just hit these buttons and boom, you're moving.
Absolutely. Shout out to Andrew. He says he just got one on Wednesday. We'll get to work, Andrew. This is great. Julian loves. Yeah, you got to update. Julian Styles loves the Groove Box. That's awesome. The great thing is the Phantom can react similarly if you wanted to. Someone in India. Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I just a little point there because
No.
okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm done.
It's we talk about Groovebox because I don't know if they're referring to the current ones, that like the MC101 and the MC707. But the cool thing is obviously that they share the same core sound engine, which is really interesting because that means you can make a sound on a Phantom and then get it into an MC707, for instance.
Right.
Great. And
That's a great point.
Anybody know what that sound engine that they're shared amongst the different Roland products now? Dun, dun, dun.
Sorry.
Is that a trick question?
What's the sound engine that's shared amongst the different Roland products?
Zencore.
Zencore.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I almost had to trigger some funny sounds if I didn't.
Yeah, we're finding that that's a big, powerful engine.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the Supernatural, you've got certain model banks and things like that are like in the Jupiters, but the Zencore engine is really quite powerful. Mike, you ready?
The Zencore engine is just an accumulation of all of Roland's synthesis. It's everything that they've designed, put into one big engine over the last 50 years of Roland technology, and the way that we've got these wonderful oscillators that are everything from virtual analog through to PCM, and now, of course, multi-samples, the amazing filters and the incredible LFOs. Just what you can do with the Zencore engine is incredible. So I hate the way that you get rid of you guys. I can't see you, but anyway, that's okay. I'll deal with that. You can hear me okay. Test one. Yes?
Yes.
And you can hear that okay.
Beautiful.
Yes. Fantastic. I apologize, but I'd only had one coffee and it still isn't even breakfast time here.
Oh, come on.
And we are in the future. All right. So let me show you my multi-sample. So this is on the video that's up now too. But if I go to multi-sample straight off, I can show you what I've done. So these 4 layers here on screen are actually the 4 different partials, I would say, in the actual Zencore engine. So if I go to zoom and I look at the actual oscillators, I can see that I'm using, sorry, I'll go there. Oscillator type, multi-sample. So I've got a multi-sample on each partial. Multi-sample, and it's my samples that I've created. Multi-sample, that one there is just mutes, and that one there is noises. So I've actually got my guitar. You can see on the video that I've done, I've got my guitar and I've actually played notes probably around about 6 to 8 semitones apart, and then made a multi-sample, and then there's 2 different levels of velocity, and then some mutes, and then I've got some noises as well. So let me go back to the multi-sample. So there are the 4 different oscillators right there. They're the 4 different partials layered, and you can see I've got some actual velocity range changing here. In this section here, the way that you actually change that is back in the tone edit. So the way that you change this velocity screen is that changing the parameters of the individual partials in tone edit. And here we've got my 4 partials here. I can turn them off and on and listen to them. So if you look closely, for example, let me look at this first partial here. I'll hit edit. And now we can see the different samples that have been spread across the keyboard. So I can actually go into Manager and see that one partial, and I can preview my sample. So that's the sample that I recorded there. If I go up to the next one, I'll go here. And that's the really cool thing with sampling, right? Because you can actually make the sound dirty and a little bit wobbly and lots of rust and character and fingers and grease and everything that's in the sound. And this is what makes them really organic, that makes the sounds breathe and live and make them have a character of their own, which is awesome. So with the actual modifier, you can get in there and change things like normalizing and truncating the samples. You can still edit it after the fact. You can see your sample. I love the way that you can actually just grab your sample and change your start point really easily with the knobs. Makes it really easy to fine tune your samples. That's really cool. And you can easily preview your sounds. You can go in and change your original keys here, which there is the process where you do your samples. And if you do your samples and you have your original keys tagged, when you import them as a group, FANTOM will automatically lay them out for you like this, which is so awesome, because instead of just trying to go, oh, there's my sample and I want to put it there, and there's my sample I want to put there. If you tag them when you're sampling them, FANTOM will automatically distribute them across the keyboard into the right areas. And that's super, super awesome. What else can I say? So you can hear the individual sounds. If I go back.
I love this screen, Mark. This is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an improvement from previous FANTOMs.
And it's really logical. Once you get used to it, it takes like literally about 15 minutes of just fiddling around with it and working it out. And then you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's really well laid out. It really leads you to just create, so you don't get bamboozled. And it's the typical whole philosophy behind FANTOM, that it is, modeless. You can keep working on everything all the time and just jump from screen to screen. You're not having to get out of something, and everything can be, I can still be like sequencing or tweaking effects if I want to. And speaking of effects, so that's what I've done here, is that you can hear they're the samples, but then I've taken them into the tone edit, and then of course used effects, and hence we get this. So that original sound that I was playing for you, these sounds, manager, they're just completely naked, not affected sounds that I've recorded on my guitar.
Yeah.
But we go back to the actual sound, and that's what it is.
How cool is that, everybody, that Mark actually went ahead and he sampled an actual bare tone from an electric guitar. So it's just a bare tone, no effects. And then just like a guitar player, he actually just plugged it. After he had the multi-sample set, he went ahead and threw it through the Roland effects. So that way now it really reacts like a guitar. So Mark, you didn't go and sample a distorted guitar or a guitar with effects. You went ahead and even deeper went the bare. So just like a guitar effect would do that to a guitar.
Absolutely. So if I go in and have a look at the actual effects, so I'm using, what zone am I? I am on zone 1. So we can see that the new routing system too with the effects, which is incredible, by the way, but we won't go there right now.
Yeah.
So I can, there you go, I've turned them all off. And you can hear that I've got release samples as well too. So when I let go, you can hear the release samples.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Unlike a guitar, it'll stay in tune. Oh, no. Good. Where do I have that sound? Thank you. So anyway.
More than 6 notes of polyphony.
More than 6 notes of polyphony. So that's totally cool. So I love showing this. How cool was that, everybody? That Mark kind of took a bare sample, just kind of had some fun in there. So that's something that's totally cool. I love that part, and I love I love somebody already put, I'll play my guitar instead. That's awesome. And Morton, congrats. He just got a Phantom. So congratulations to him. But that's cool. And, it is nice to have that option because I'm not sure how great of a guitar player Mark is, but I know he's a killer keyboard guy and he can definitely go ahead and cover guitar now very easily if he had to. And that's just one way.
As far as guitar playing is concerned, I make good coffee.
You makes good coffee. Cool. Cool. All right, let's have I want to go back to the screen and let's talk about a couple other things. But as you guys can see, guys and gals out there, a lot of good, interesting stuff on the sampling. We're going to get more into that, but we don't have the time here to do it, because we got to talk about a bunch of different things. But if you just check out Roland Product Support, I know we're going to delve into a lot of this stuff separately, kind of dig into it, and so get you guys going. So let me go ahead and go over here. And so just to make sure all of you that don't know yet and haven't done it, we covered a little bit of the keyboard sample and the multi-sample functions, which are awesome. A new microscope edit has been added. That is cool to the sequencer. So you can actually get in there and really fine-tune that sequencer and how it reacts to you. And Mark, any of you guys feel free to jump in if you want to talk a little bit, expound on some of this. Automation function has been added to the piano roll. So I guess I can
do that if you want. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So I'm just going to pull up one of the songs that are inside Phantom. So that's that one there. Okay, so let's go into the pattern and let's just pick one pattern. Let me find one that. Maybe that one. Let's go with that one. Okay, so I make sure that my cursor is over that pattern and then hit edit. And now we've got these two options of piano roll and of microscope. So let's go to piano roll. And over here, we've got this new icon, which gives us 3 different tools. So I'm just going to jump straight to my favorite tool, which is the pencil tool. And I'm going to select one of the target for the tool. So I can select from modulation, expression, anything, pitch bend, resonance, all sorts of stuff. So let me go for, I'll see if, now of course it depends on what parameters are set up on the actual tone, but let me just see if this is going to work. So now I'm going to affect the cutoff. I'm going to draw it. Look at that. That's so cool. Wow. So that's the control change now for the cutoff for that pattern. So let me just play that again. I'll go back to just there. You can hear that working, right?
Yeah.
Have a look. So if I go to the rest of it. This is really cool because it just means you can change it if you want. I don't like that. Let's do it that way. It's so easy.
That is easy.
It's so easy. So just to get in there and edit and be creative with how you want your control changes or pitch bend or volume or panning or anything like that to be altered just by doing that. Or you can select just a line. If you go, I want a slow gradient from 0 to whatever, that's just going to do the line like that. Or you can just get in there and pick points and move the actual control change around, move it to a different part of the bar in the measure. So many different ways of just really being tactile, that it's just very hands-on, and you really feel like you're in a DAW now, but it's tactile as well. It's so cool.
Yep. Nice. That's cool. Let's a couple questions real quick. Let's see. I got to share this. Tim, that's funny, Tim. With Mark's guitar samples, we'll finally get noticed on gigs by the girls. Oh, that's awesome. So there you go. Here's another reason to buy it. That's awesome. Pedro says that's amazing because it's like what we do on Cubase. That's cool. We like that. Let's see.
Can I pinch in with a question? someone, sorry, I don't remember who now. Someone asked about, does the Phantom have the extended envelopes like the JD800? Now, I don't remember the envelopes of the JD800, but I assume we're talking kind of
These all
multi-stage
PCM
envelopes.
TVs,
which
yeah,
the Phantom does.
time variable, right?
Yeah, which the
Mhm.
Phantom has. Yeah.
So the
So it's basically, it's not just your average ADSR. It's more than that.
yeah, the
multi-
time variant stuff. So
Right.
yeah, so I guess the short answer would be yes, it's more. There's a lot more than just the standard subtractive synthesis kind of envelopes. You know, it's a lot more. Here's shout out to Yvonne in Vegas. She says, "Is what Mark was just doing?" She says, "Is that per clip or for the whole pattern / tone?"
Well, in the sequencer, that's per clip.
It's per clip, yeah.
Per clip, yeah. So when you're looking at your patterns, that's how you get in there and edit your different patterns, and you can just edit just that clip. So, for example, actually, I'll show you microscope. Shall I show you microscope while we're here?
Yeah, absolutely.
why not?
Please.
So there's microscope. So this is brand new as well. So this is cool because you can go to each sound. You can see here on the left on the piano roll, we've got each note. And then here on the right, I can zoom to the parameter. I can change the note now. Or I can change things like velocity. You can see it going up and down there. And duration, gate time, all that sort of stuff. It's very cool. Again, with these knobs, you can just get in there and just edit stuff and just so cool. Erase, move, create, make a new note, copy it, all in the microscope mode. So that's like, for the DAW guys, that's like list mode, right? Like in Logic or whatever you use, like get in there and change each note and do some surgery.
Yeah, but you can get really, really detailed now, whereas before it you had to kind of play a couple games. This is like, oh, I can see exactly what's going on in my pattern and what I want to change or fix or add to, right?
And you can select what you're looking at. So if there's too much information, you can actually all off and then just have, I just want to look at my notes, or I just want to look at my channel aftertouch. So it's all there. See, I've just got rid of all the data just by selecting what I want to see. It's very cool.
Cool. So let's answer a quick question. This is I want to bring this up. Michael just asked, Phantom or FA? And so that's a good question, because obviously the Phantom is the flagship. But the FA is definitely not a slouch, So for me, the Phantom, you're going to, of course, difference in price, but also functionality, but then also weight. And then so it just varies. Does any of you guys want to chime in on that, Phantom or FA?
I think, if I may, I think the FA is amazing. It's been around for a few years, obviously. So the technology inside, or the sound engine especially, is not the same. So that would be one. I mean, obviously there are loads more features on the Phantom, but considering the price difference, that is to be expected. But one thing that is an important difference, I think, is the sound engine. So it's basically, the Phantom has the Zen core, which is again compatible with multiple other products we currently have, whereas the FA is a few years older. So but it still has great sounds. I mean, it still has supernatural and things like that. So
yeah.
And if you guys are familiar with the FA, Mr. Ahlund wrote one of the demo songs in there. What's the name of that? The main one that comes up
in the
FA.
I forgot what it's called.
Nice.
Starts with a P.
Huh? Pythagoras.
That's it.
Yes.
So probably what I would suggest for you when you're talking about FA versus Phantom, and this goes for any synthesizer, and Scott and I were dealing with somebody earlier today when they're asking what they should get. I always suggest make a list of what you want to get out of that keyboard. What is the main function of that instrument? What do you want it to do? And then you can kind of look very analytically and kind of see which product best fits what your needs in there. Because if I definitely, it just depends. Because if I'm a pianist and my main goal is piano, and I'm never going to sample, and I'm never going to sequence. I just want piano, and I want this V piano thing sounds incredible with incredible action. I'll probably get a RD2000 versus a VR730, which is predominantly organ. So you just make a list in there. Someone just asked, Robin Rosso asked, can I ask a question about one of the other Roland products? And yeah, but you didn't ask it. So if you're still there, ask in there. Let's see. Let me go back to my list over here. Yeah, the answer is yes. You can ask your questions. Also, this is pretty cool for all of us when we get back to gigging, because that will happen. Just wear your mask. Okay. It says scene chain. We've made some great strides in the scene chain, which I've always loved scene chain, but I definitely thought, we can make a couple of things. Anybody want to take this one on the scene chain?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Jump through it.
Scott.
Yeah, so scene chain. What's cool with scene chain is we'll go into it. I'll just go ahead and hit. Let's do this guy. So a lot of you are probably already familiar with scene chain, and where it's important is if you're doing songs or gigs, or even in the studio, depending on what you're doing, you may want to put things in a certain order. A one scene could be an entire song for you. It could be several scenes. It really depends on what you're doing. But when you go into chain or scene chain, let me get out of this real quick. All right, chain. This is a new feature, which I'll show you here in a second. But let's see if I can go into a new one. And I'll just leave it up because it's up here. Yeah. But I could go into another scene chain if I wanted to and hit enter. And you can put your scenes in any order you want. And each scene chain allows 512 slots. So chances are you're probably not going to use that all for one scene chain, but you can move scenes from one scene chain to another scene chain. And this is brand new to where we can now see it in a different way. Let me go back to that one. Okay. To where now I can look at it. One of the things that I liked about the scene chain is that I could put the scenes in any order I wanted to, instead of having to go back to the main screen and try to put all this stuff in a specific order. In the chain, I can put it in whatever order. Awesome, right? Well, the only complaint I had personally is I couldn't tell before this was available. I couldn't tell what was coming next. I could see a name and a number, A06, A09, or whatever it is, but I really couldn't tell the name of the scene. So this is brand new in version 2.0, is that you have the option that you can actually just see it through here. And either as I push through the buttons here, or if I go increment, decrement, or if I use a foot pedal to go through it, I can see a little bit of an advance of what's going on. But I just think the scene chain is just awesome, and how simple it is. If you hold shift and you select several parts like this, you can go in, we can go edit, we can go copy, I can go to the end of the chain, and I can hit here, and I can hit paste. I mean, it's that simple to move things around or add it. The other thing that they just added to this is that you can now put in markers. So we can go through and you can add certain markers. So let's say, for instance, I'll just try and explain it, then demonstrate it, because it's just going to be easier. So let's say red is one song, yellow is another song, and then these three reds are another song. I can put a marker up on the front one, and then I can put a marker on my next song, and then a marker on my next song, and I can jump through those just by going through this button and being able to jump through the different markers. Marker start, marker end. It's just some really cool things. I haven't played with it a lot. Again, this is really, really fresh, but to be able to jump around quickly is just really cool.
Cool. So a quick question from Tim Hunter. It says, is there any shortcuts to accessing and adjusting the global reverb instead of going to menu / to effects routing? And this is one thing I love about our community. Yvonne comes in with the help. She says, Tim, you can assign one of your S keys to it. And for those of you, just as a reminder, your S keys are, let me get rid of Yvonne's comment for a second, are right here, S1, S2, and S3. So if you follow Yvonne, what she's saying, you can hold down shift and hit one of the S2s, and it's going to come up right on the screen and ask you, what do you want to go ahead and program there, and you get a lot of options in there, and you can have that so it saves within a scene. So that's one thing I love in our synth community, our Phantom community, that everybody's very easily to help each other. So that's totally cool. Let's see what other kind of stuff. Shout out to Myron McKinley. Hey, what's up, dude? Great to see you there.
Dude?
Okay, he plays with a little local band. No, I'm just joking. Anyway.
I want to give a shout out to my man Lawrence as well, from an amazing band called Leon, representing London.
All right. And of course, shout out to Myron from Earth, Wind, and Fire. So good to see you. It's a little band. It's got a couple little songs.
Well, Myron's also one of those guys that doesn't take much, and he makes the keyboard sound huge.
Yeah.
Just in the voicing and how he plays and goes through it. He's an amazing, amazing player. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you so much. Gene, also with the pitch hit, he says, one big difference for people gigging, FA08 equals 36.44 pounds versus current Phantom 8 at 61 pounds. And so that's definitely something when you're looking at the different synthesizers, got to look at the different weight. And I know at Roland, we kind of really try and focus on that for our gigging. Our founder, Mr. Kakahashi, liked all of us to gig out and stuff like that and play gigs.
But the Phantoms are built like tanks. I mean, they're all metal construction, metal top, metal bottom, mostly metal sides, at least the top and the bottom. And the FA is a different beast.
Different, yeah. Let's see, a suggestion for a video on micro tuning the V piano. Ooh, that's kind of nice. You guys that want to get into the nerd part of tuning, that's awesome.
Oh, can I show
one? Okay,
go ahead, David. No,
go ahead, David.
Go ahead.
I saw an interesting comment. Someone shouting out the SP808 and the SP808EX. Good old samplers. I used to have one of those myself, and I loved it. And it was really cool sampler because it had a built-in hard disk recorder as well, or digital recorder, which was quite unique at the time. So shout out to Robin and the SP808EX.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
At the risk of showing my age, and it doesn't really matter really, but I used to, one of my early gigs, Diaz, you can be quiet. Thanks very much, man. In my early days, I used to gig with my Roland S50 hooked up to a green monochrome monitor sitting on the grand piano, and I'd run the 4-track sequence. I think the sequences were actually monophonic, and I'd have the and then I moved to a W30, but yeah, back in the S50 with a green monochrome screen sitting on the piano.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
High tech.
Did you guys have to use coal to get the steam going to get the? I'm just joking.
Yeah, was it still horse and buggy back then?
Yeah,
guinea pigs on belts.
Yeah. So Neil brought up a good point. The Phantom has about a 40-second boot up time, which is really wonderful for gigs, because sometimes we hit power supplies, as Mark did, or something happens, and having that 40 seconds boot up time versus 2 to 4 minutes of other keyboards definitely makes a difference in there. Let's see. Tim gave a shout out to Yvonne. That's awesome. John Sweeney, love John over there. Tim's really digging. The scene chain is really good now. Best set list feature on a workstation or synth currently. Absolutely. I know.
And I really like the list. I like being able to see ahead, and that's all. Yeah, that's awesome.
And even just the fact that the colors come up. I zoom out, but it's just really ergonomic, isn't it? It's just very visual, very visual. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, you
so,
can totally see.
Can I show this, which we probably won't go through, but I just think this is kind of cool. One of the things that they added was, where is it? Is it in utility? Yeah. This guy. Have you guys played with this yet?
Yeah.
I have. Really
cool.
So you've got wallpapers now, guys. So you can totally customize, what you got going on behind the screen. So you could even change the colors down here, which gets, it looks like space or whatever. But there's some cool ones that are in here. The Phantom or whatever, which is the one that I'm liking. I'll hit OK, and I'll get out of this, and now it's in the background. And it's something that I don't think anybody will talk about, but little things like this sometimes I think are so cool. And that you can customize it, you can change the colors if you want to see a blue background or more of a red background. Stupid, but I love it. Just thought I'd share, because I knew we weren't going to talk about it.
It's okay.
I did hear that there will be possibly the ability to import your own pictures in there too.
Uh-oh.
that'd be cool.
Photoshop time. Awesome.
Could be scary.
Ed Diaz on
Especially
the
with-
loose
yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's not going to work on my Phantom because they know
No.
better. So that's awesome. So let's see. Morton says, "Thank these Roland guys have thought about everything this time. That's just great. Actually, it's because of people like you and all the different Facebook groups. We are watching the different Facebook groups and the comments, and actually we are discussing globally with our engineers and our different Roland people throughout the world, such as Mark and David, myself and Scott, and others that are out there. So we are always trying to figure that out. With working at home and the social distancing, it's kind of sad because a lot of us do like to travel and kind of see everybody. But in the same sense, we are very active on the social. So if you have a suggestion, a lot of times we'll take that and we'll put it into our team chat with the engineers and see what we could bring to you. So a lot of the stuff that we've brought out in this OS and in future OSs are going to be largely in part to you, our users. So thank you for supporting us as we're going to continue to try and support you the best.
And there's always stuff coming. So even if you didn't get something that you may have wanted to see in this update, it may be in the next. Just keep asking, keep letting us know. But also, too, get to know what's already there, because there may be something there that you're like, I don't really like that. And then all of a sudden you discover it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm using it all the time. I've gone through that a few times.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely, just keep talking to us, keep asking, and we'll try and talk amongst us and share it with the team and see how we can make Phantom even better. I mean, multi-sampling, that's a big one right there, guys.
Shout out to Stephen Fortner. He's like, hey, guys.
Hey.
Here's Morton. He comes from the same part of, I think, as Mark. He says, I had to rock hard sync with an Atari Falcon Cubase with it back in the days. So is that the same company that made the video games? Look at Mark. He's like, yeah, I know.
Shout out to my Atari crew. Right.
Yeah.
1040 STE. The whole computer was 1 megabyte.
Woo!
Wow.
How much did that cost? Jeez.
Thousands
of dollars.
in the very early 80s.
My father, sorry, little story. My father wrote the first countdown clock for the Academy Awards on an IBM computer. And it was this little tiny thing, a little green screen that was so big. And that computer was well over $3,000 and $3,500 back in the early 80s.
Yep.
It's like, technologies, this thing's got more power in it than the Fairlights did back when those things were $170,000.
Yep. It says, let's see here. John says, I play a mess of Roland racks. Look, all the JVs and D50s and SB. Triton via JR30. Nice. Is there on screen for the older instead of front screen? Panel frustrates. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah, because at some point when we get into some of the really older things, it's wonderful that it works, and a lot of Roland stuff will easily last 20 plus years. But it gets difficult with some of the very older stuff to maybe have some on-screen things. Here's another one. It says, do you have any plans to integrate other DAW controls such as Studio One? Anyone want to comment on that one? No?
I know that Roland are always looking at people's questions and looking to the future, and there's stuff coming. There's lots of stuff coming for Phantom.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff coming from Phantom that we will share in due time. So
from
that's
Santa,
cool.
Did you say Santa? I'm sure you said Santa.
Maybe Santa will bring something. That is very possible. That is very possible. I think I don't know. Is he saying I'm going to microtune that MF? Is that Maynard Ferguson? I think that's what he's meaning.
Yeah.
I think that's what MF stands for. Thank you so much. That's it. Hey Scott, y'all got it done. Multi-sampling. All right, somebody's happy.
Andrew.
Oh God, here we go. Mark opened up the can of word. Anyone ever gig with a JV1000? I first gigged with my JV1000 and D50, and that was a killer rig back in the day. Look at Mark. Mark's been.
Yeah, I gig with my D50. I never had a JV1000.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And Chris,
I have stories of me playing my JV1000 on stage with my little special box of floppy disks sitting on there, and the dancers would come, and the discs went all over the floor. And not good.
Nice.
But that was a good keyboard. The JV1000 was a good keyboard.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to be able to change the wallpaper in your living room that quick? That would be awesome.
Hold on. I lost everybody. I mean, I got you guys. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Prefer subway tiles. That's cool. That's cool. Here's a good question from Michael, who has an awesome musical history. He says, importing wallpapers would be great as I can set mine to a pic of the four of you. I agree. I agree. We can make that happen. We can make Roland, Japan, are you listening? No, I'm just joking. Okay, see. Let's see. Morton says, yes, I think I want AI ARP. So you never know. You're asking
Never
for
know.
it. So we'll add it to the list and see.
Yeah, that's come up. Is it the same person? Maybe. That's
Yeah,
come up.
Morton's
Yeah.
into it.
I think it is. Yeah.
It
Right.
is really cool. The arpeggio is really cool.
It is really cool. Yeah.
Very inspiring to play with.
Now here's a cool one. I think it says, "Hi Scott, how can we convert WAV files to .svd files?" And I think Mark, aren't you working on that right now? On some EXZ. You're working on what's? I think there's a way.
There is.
We're working on it.
There's something just around the corner.
Yeah. So you guys hold on. That's cool. Gene's loving the multi-sampling. That's cool. Let's see here. What was it? What is this? Please don't forget to add the possibility to circle through 16 pads with the foot switch. Very useful in some modes.
Yeah, that one doesn't make sense to me, but I get it.
Yeah, Mario, we've talked about this one as far as the and I like your suggestion. So we have a keyboard switch group, but the goal of the keyboard switch groups is to be able, when we go into keyboard switch groups, we want to be able to change different sections of the keyboard on the fly. Just like, oh, go over here. You know, my leads are over here. I can just jump without looking. And so having them go in sequential doesn't.
You might as well just write the scenes and put them into a scene chain and just go through them that way.
Yeah, that's a way. That's a way you could do it that way. And if you put those scenes into a scene chain, then you could set the pedal to go up the scene chain. That's a workaround. You could totally do that. So that's great. Thank you for your.
And then if you want to come back, because again, you know, if you go back into the scene chains, when you're in the chains, it's also lighting up here. So if you've got your pedal and you're just going through your different setups like piano, piano and strings, electric piano, whatever, then you can still come back and either hit the screen or go there or just cycle them. It depends on how you do things, but being able to have full control there is another option. I think that's probably your best solution for that whole thing.
Can I bring one up? It's this
Absolutely.
From John Iverson over here. He's asking. He's saying he wants to use a mouse to do the editing of sounds rather than pushing buttons. And of course, we don't have a mouse connector on the Phantom, but we do have Zonology.
There you go. Yeah.
And John, if you don't know Zonology, it's our software which is available on the cloud, and that can actually, which is fully compatible with the Phantom. So you can make patches on Zonology and import them to the Phantom, or the other way around.
Yeah, so for those of you that want to work inside the box, that being the computer, or you want to use a mouse, as David is saying, you can completely do that in the cloud, and that's something that we do have available, and that's something that's real nice with the ZenCore sound engine. If you have the ZenCore engine inside the Roland Cloud, you can go ahead and create completely without the keyboard, and then you can share that Zenology, because that's engine. That engine is shared in the Phantom, in the Jupiter X, the Jupiter XM, and also in the Axe Edge. Did I miss anything?
MC707.
Thank you. RD707 and the the MC707 and the MC101. So
RD88.
And the RD88. Yeah, it's just like, even did the video for that. I forgot. So that's something that's real cool that you can do. And you know, I'll go ahead and show you what, for those of you that don't know, you can go to Roland Cloud right here. This is what Roland Cloud is. You can go ahead and as you can see the news, there's different memberships available for you, you know, so just look at and see which membership works for you. There's also a core one that's very cheap to get. Also, what you can do in here is you can come in here and you can see the hardware. So you can say like, okay, I have an Axe Edge or a Phantom or whatever. I can go ahead and say, well, what's available for the Phantom right now? So you can just hit Phantom in the very top, and then you can just go through all the expansion board, the EXZs, and click on them, and you can just learn about them. You also have your different wave expansions through here. your different Zencore sound packs. And I know that David and some of the other people at Roland were working. Did I just pass David's? I think Lo-Fi Beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, also too, Ed, just to make sure everybody knows, there is huge advantage to having a subscription with Roland Cloud because of everything that's available. But that doesn't mean that you have to have one. You can have a free account and be able to download and bring in all those EXEs for FANTOM for free. Now, some of the sound packs are like 99 cents, but you don't have to have the subscription. I just want to make sure people know that you're not cut off, but you're missing out. That's the only thing I can explain. You're missing out.
Yep.
But you can do it for free and be able to get all that content, some of the supernatural piano and electric piano, and then, of course, any of those EXZs or those expansions.
And then not to mention, when you do have that, you have software available to you. So, of course, you have the Zonology, and this is one that David was talking about, we were talking about. If you have Zonology installed, you can essentially edit your Zonology sounds and share them amongst those other keyboards. Also, besides Zonology, you get different model expansions for Zonology. So this is something that's really amazing here that will work inside Zonology.
And
Also,
that includes that includes the model banks as well for the Jupiter X series. So you got the Juno 106, the Jupiter 8. You got those emulations also in Zonology as well.
So yeah, like somebody had asked, I like to see the model banks in the FANTOM. Well, we don't know, but you can access them right here.
Yep. And then not to mention, you actually have softwares of the individual, the legendary. And so you have individual softwares for, as you can see, a lot of different Roland synthesizers, hardware synths, TB303, you got ProMars, the XV. So there's a lot of things to access here. Plus, we can go to the next one and we can access all SRX. So there's a lot of things going on. Era stuff. So System 8. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I was blown away when I saw that when the JV 1080 came out in software form, because we used to have one of those in our studio, me and my friend. And obviously, it's a nightmare to program on its own.
Yes.
But it's like, you got all the original features and the sounds and things, but you have now like a completely visual interface. So that's so cool to be able to do that and still get the genuine JV 1080 sound.
Well, it's like the D50, right? The D50, if you didn't have the PG-1000 programmer, it was, going from analog to that kind of digital, and that little tiny window was hard. But on the cloud, it opens up and basically shows you the PG-1000 to program and go through it. It's just really, really cool stuff. You guys have to check it out.
So anyway, for all of you out there, make sure you go to Roland Cloud. Just give it a look around and see if there's something in there. Like there's so much content on here available for you. Extra patches that you can just throw in, and just there is so much, everybody. So I encourage you to go ahead and take a look at the Roland Cloud and see what you can find, and just kind of have fun, because this is going to be a great option for a lot of you, whether you're going to use a software synth version of Roland stuff or use the software synths in conjunction with the hardware synthesizers, be it a multitude of Roland keyboards. This is a great place to go. And I think right now, I think I have, what do you guys have in your FANTOMs right now? I think I have over 9,000 sounds in my FANTOM, and I haven't downloaded everything yet. So
I'll say I'm in the 8,000 mark somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't counted, but it's many.
It's many. Yeah.
Like that. It's many. Loads.
So it's pretty cool. Real quick, let's do some shout outs. We're going to start winding down this show. So David,
before you get into that, can I just ask a question between us all?
Okay, but as long as you keep it private and not amongst everybody. So.
Okay. All right. So basically what I was going to ask, out of the new additions that this update has given us, what is one thing that you're just like, oh, I'm so glad that's my favorite right now? Which part? Is it multi-sampling? Is it something else, or something that isn't even talked about but we discovered?
Well, let's see. I guess for me, I love the scene chain in there, and I actually love the different routing for the outputs of the Phantom.
Oh,
I love the new routing options. For me, that's a great thing. And then the multi-sampling is also cool. I'm all over the place, as you know, so I like a lot of that. I guess probably for me, it would probably be the multi-sampling and the routing of the outputs.
Yeah, for me, it's just the sampling is definitely the main staple for me, because it just opens up a whole new level of the machine where you have the classic, not classic, but we have the Roland VA oscillators and some of the classic waveforms and stuff. But then when you can put in your own, it's like it's like a new dimension to the machine. You can get a whole different character of sound all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
Look,
About
I
you,
agree.
Mark?
The sampling thing is obviously the biggest and most important thing, especially being able to use it through Zencore. But one thing that we should quickly touch on is the fact that we have new zone control.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of Roland Cloud, right?
Good one. Yeah.
So I've got here. Oh, I've just pushed.
Take it away, Mark.
Let me just take over for a second. So I'm using what is it, Jupiter Explored patch here, right? So now, of course, I'll just get rid of a couple of layers, and I'll just go like that, and I should. So what we're listening to now is Roland Cloud. So I'm playing the Juno 106 there on. Let me see if I can get this up so I've got both screens happening. No, I don't want me.
Did
That's
you read
okay.
the manual, Mark?
There, yeah, sure. I have to change it. That's okay. So I'll leave it on the Phantom. So that's the external sound. So I'm playing the Juno. That is hold down shift and we go red, and that's the internal sound. Or we can go yellow. This is brand new. So this gives us both at the same time. So I'm playing the Jupiter, the Phantom sound, the Jupiter Explored, and also I'm playing the Juno 106 at the same time. So of course I can mix it up. So if I go here, I'll play an internal sound, Phantom only, and over here I'm going to play external only. Oh, green, sorry. So that now is the Jupiter. Oh no, it's actually that's a SRX I'm using actually. Sorry, I've got an SRX in there. That's on MIDI channel 3. So that's that one playing. So now let's mix them all up together. So I've got channel 1 playing internal and external sounds. I've got channel 1 playing internal, external, channel 2 playing internal, channel 3 playing external, all at the same time.
How cool is that, Mark? That you actually have
Really cool.
the Phantom. The Phantom, you have its internal engine and the polyphony associated with it, and then you have the computer handling the external. So you have even more polyphony. So you're having just a massive sound right in there.
And all of that MIDI and USB is going through my USB cable and coming back into the Phantom and through its own Diaz at 24-bit, 192 kilohertz,
Yeah,
golden quality sound.
and some Morton just said integration with Omnisphere. Eric Pearson is an old Roland guy, just FYI. So nothing but love and respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is cool. So what you can do, what's Mark showing, not only can you use the Roland Cloud software, but then with Mainstage or some other different features, you could go ahead and use Omnisphere, whatever other software synth, and integrate the Phantom internals simultaneously.
Also wanted to show everybody real quick that if you're updated Phantom 2 2.0 and you're trying to get that and can't figure out why it doesn't go to the yellow, make sure you go into System or Menu, General, and then select Zone Internal External Control and change that from Basic to Advanced. And that's
And then
really all
system
you
right
need
it.
to do.
Press the
System
right.
right. Yep, absolutely. Otherwise, it'll go back to the way it was next time you turn it on.
That is it. So
Thank you,
let's-
Mr. Berry. Thank you, Mr. Berry.
thank you, Mr. Watson, Mr. Barrett.
Can I drop a question again?
Oh,
Yeah.
Not me. It's the people on the chat.
go for it.
Be nice to them. This is from Robin. He was asking. This is a great question actually, because we get this every now and then for obvious reasons. He's asking what's the difference between, he's saying the Jupiter 8 Legendary and Jupiter 8 Cloud, but I think he means Jupiter 8 Legendary and Jupiter 8 Zonology.
Model. Yeah.
Yeah, model bank, because they're both in the cloud. So
Good question.
yeah. So the Legendary series, plenty of them are based on the ACB technology that we have, which is something we have in common for our
System 8.
our older IRA products. So not the MC series, not the new MCs, but like things like the System 8 and the TB3 and so on. So it's a different technology those plugins are based on, whereas the Zonology Jupiter 8 is the new kind of the new generation, which is the Zen Core and Model Bank. They kind of go hand in hand. So that's like a new version basically, which is less heavy on the processor, and yeah. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
So that's cool. And I see, I'm just trying to get some of these two in here. Let's see. People liking digging Rolling Cloud, and shout out to Robin. That was cool.
You know what, guys? I think we're going to have to probably do this next week.
We probably
We've
are going to have to,
barely covered anything.
but of course, David Ahlund thinks he can go on holiday. What is up with that?
That's right.
That is right. You know,
Yeah, I could sense some work coming, so I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna sleep out.
Daisy's like, I'm out. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just trying to get through some of these. Definitely. Yep. Monty Newble, another killer keyboard guy out there. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my God, Mark Watson is a dreamboat. Oh man. Oh man.
Do you know who? You know Ed Lim? You've met Ed
Yep.
Lim.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ed, get off this video
Boss
podcast.
Australia.
Yeah, my colleague. My
Yes.
colleague.
Yeah. Thank
My,
you.
I should dub him in.
Oh God. Oh,
He's,
no.
he's another Aussie. Oh, he'll probably
Oh.
hate me.
Shoot, that's cool. All right, let's see. Anthony says you could do that before with one internal, one external zone, and sometimes that's useful. But having yellow mode helps sometimes too. Yeah, you could, Anthony. You would actually have to share, and correct me if I'm wrong. You would have 16 total zones, and you could mix between internal and external, but only 16 zones. Now, technically, since those 16 zones can send internal and external simultaneously. Now, technically, you could have up to 32 zones going on there. So,
That's right.
yeah.
And it's not very clear, actually. My camera's there, but you can see that it shows up on screen as well, which is really cool. So you can see it actually says both, and it's yellow, internal, external. And if I scroll over a little bit further, you can actually now transpose each. There we are. That's something new as well. So you can transpose each individual zone as well, and coarse tune, fine tune. But the transposition thing is quite cool as well.
But it also does external, right? Now external you can transpose.
That's right. So at the moment, I'm transposing both internal and external. So if I just go back to that channel. So it's transposing Roland Cloud and my internal sound at the same time. So it's just a really handy extra that's part of the new zone control.
Yeah, so this is really cool. That is really cool, because I saw someone asking about that, and we couldn't do that prior. So now this just opens up for all of you that want to use software synthesizers and the Roland FANTOM simultaneously. It just opens up some more opportunities for us to do that in there.
And there's the beauty of scenes, because you can save that as a scene. So if you're doing whatever it is, a performance, and you need to recall that with your Roland Cloud and everything, just go bang, and that's that scene with your transposition, with your internal, your external, and both at the same time. That's your scene saved, ready to go.
Nice.
Yep.
Well,
Another-
speaking of transposing, sorry. That was the other thing that was kind of unexpected is the sample pads. Sample pads, if you bring them down and you turn one of the zones into a pad zone, so now the samples are on the keys, that not only can we can transpose those now on the keys. In other words, it doesn't transpose the audio of it. It doesn't change it to another key, but it allows you to put that sample on a separate key. So I could just have it as the very bottom key in the Phantom of any pad I want. So, to me, that was just cool.
Yep, that's cool.
Basically, all sounds now I mean, there's a way to put a sample anywhere.
Yeah.
Really, and you can manipulate it with your keyboard or with your pads, and you can have it assigned to one note. You can have it multi-sampled right across the keyboard as a parcel, layered with other parcels through the MFX, through the filters, through the LFOs. It's just massive.
Crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna, okay. Just so you guys know, we are planning on doing this next week. We would have David Ahlund, but he has a life, and he's going to try and enjoy life and go on a holiday. But we have Mark Watson because he has nothing better to do. So we're going to have, we're gonna tune in next week, definitely for sure. But this time, instead of the Phantom, we're going to talk about the Jupiter X.
We'll probably also talk about the Phantom too. There's so much to go through, but yeah.
Look, Mark's like, oh, you didn't have it ready to play, Mark. That's a loss. That's a yeah. That's what you get on that one, Mark. Anyway. Okay, we're going to wrap this show up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We always kind of talk. Part of the reason we do Synth Talk is to kind of, during this time, is to give all of our synth players and build our community something to do, something to look forward to. Love sharing with all of you guys, since a lot of us are doing social distancing and just to make sure everybody's safe. And so thank all of you for watching and following us. And we're very happy to be, Synth Talk is now a part inside Roland, so we can share this globally with all of you. So make sure you tune in next week, where our main topic is going to be the Jupiter X. But of course, as Scott just said, we're going to probably also talk a little bit about the Phantom, but I want to focus on the Jupiter X. And we'll welcome back next week Mr. Mark Watson. We'll get David Ahlund another time. And anyway,
thank you, David. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ed. Thank you all for being here, man. It's so great. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I'm just saying hi to everybody. Thank you all, guys, for watching. I see some of you have been watching the whole time. Yes, all of our people out in YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you go ahead and support your local dealers. If you're out there gigging, go ahead and make sure you get a mask. Wear a mask. Be safe. And we are going to talk to you later. This is Ed Diaz with Mr. Mark Watson, Scott Berry, and David Ahlund signing off. You guys take care. We love you, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.